Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 182 of NerdPod Generations. As always, I am one of your illustrious hosts, Steve Taylor, along with the always lovely Al Judson. Hello, sir.
Hello, friends and enemies.
And because we've been having technical issues, we're going a little old school with our microphones, so we're going to have to lean in and make more eye contact with
I know, we're doing this as a romantic
It's very
day tonight.
romantic.
No, we're back in the 2022 era of the show. We're back on the old, reliable Blue Yeti. Yeah. Which is a great microphone, but it picks up a lot of room tone. So if you hear a little bit of echoing or if things sound a little distant, we're going to do what we can, but I can only do so much.
And luckily we're doing this at night, which is a rarity for us, and so it's a little quieter all around, and we probably won't have any issues.
No.
So, and now, folks, once again, episode 182, that means if you are listening to us for the first time, there are 181 past episodes of pure gold. So please go back and listen to our back catalog, and you can do this by going to nerdpodgen.com. There is a link on the main page to our most recent episode. There are also links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, which we do have a YouTube channel where Al has been uploading segments and full episodes, past and present.
Hell yeah.
So please make sure if you go to the website and you go to either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, that you subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications of anytime we have a new show. You also get any updates we have. And, on our website, there's a place where you can go and send us an email directly. Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know any topics you might want to listen to. We do pretty much everything pop culture, comic book, movies, TV, video games, you name it, we do.
We'll even review occasionally a real, actual book. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, it doesn't happen
But on
often.
occasion.
We have been doing the rare audiobooks.
I did want to note, we talked about Andy Serkis's reading of
Which
Lord
is
of the Rings. So
still the best.
Our YouTube got some really nice views on our Futurama
conversation. Yay! Nice.
So of all the things, it was us talking about our love of Futurama that moved the needle. So
we're going to say it's all on Zoidberg.
You're right.
Good old Zoidberg.
Oh, Zoidberg.
All right, folks, so we do start every episode with a little segment we like to call, What Have You Been Watching, Playing, Reading? I am going to kick it off today. I want to start with a little shout-out quickly. Today I rewatched one of my favorite movies, and it's now officially borderline my favorite Western, which was Kevin Costner's 2003 Open Range.
Okay.
Him and Robert Duvall. Have you ever seen?
I have not seen this. I remember when it came out.
So it should be in my streaming, so you could find it. It's a very simple Western. It's got unbelievably beautiful scenery. The acting is great. It's Costner and Robert Duvall. It also has a very young Diego Luna.
Oh, no kidding.
Very young Diego Luna as one of their, I think they say he's like a 16-year-old kid that just rides with them. And it has Michael Gambon as, Dumbledore himself as the bad guy.
Yeah.
And it's a fantastic Western. Yeah. It has, like I said, it's got a great story. Costner, for the first time, lets his ego kind of go to the side, and he's not the one who's like the main hero at the end, which is, he gets the girl, but he's not the main hero at the end. Mm-hmm. And it's got one of the best shootouts, and it has a soft spot in my heart because my grandfather, who Westerns were his favorite film genre, him and I would go see him all the time. I want to say, I think this was the last Western we saw in the theaters before he died. And it is, I highly recommend. It is so good. And the shootout at the end, one of the best.
Yeah.
Absolute dynamite.
I would love to see, because Westerns are an interesting animal. Because they're such a super genre picture, right? There's it's all genre all the time. There's tropes, there's things you have to follow, blah, blah, blah. I remember not 10 years ago, during the superhero boom, when the likes of Steven Spielberg would be like, oh, the superhero movies are going to be like Westerns. They're going to die off. I think that is true. I think that we are looking at the slow but crawling death of the superhero film.
Oh, yeah.
But also, I would love if Jen Bravo got really into Westerns. 1950s and 60s style, there's 8 million Westerns a year that come out. I think that would be fascinating.
See, I don't know if they can make a good Western anymore, because the problem is, I haven't seen Costner's new one, Horizon or something like that is the name. I still kind of want to see it. It's just good Westerns are slow, atmospheric, and then they'll have the payoff with the big shootout.
Yeah.
I don't think this current generation can do that.
Yeah.
like I said, I showed my son the first Star Trek movie. I showed him with Star Trek 2, and he wasn't a fan because it's one of the greatest movies ever made, but it's slow.
Yeah.
It's slow in today's standards.
By comparison.
Exactly.
Well, and this is the thing, is that this is actually one of my arguments that I make about the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Comparatively, they're kind of slow.
Absolutely.
They don't run at a pace. They're not, like, languid, but they're not paced out like a modern film would be.
Yeah.
I look at things like Silverado, my beloved Silverado. Not my truck. I don't have a truck. I'm not one of those guys. Silverado, I've always felt like had the same pacing and plot as a video game. You could easily turn Silverado into a video game.
I would put Silverado in the same vein as like a Tombstone.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
But like just how like the progression of meeting characters, having events play out, gaining more characters, having events play out, gaining more characters, stuff coming back up from the beginning, but there's still like these very insulated moments throughout the movie of like, okay, so this is the town with Peyton where he gets in the fight the first time, and then this is the town where we got to break Kevin Costner out and run away from John Cleese, and then this is the wagon train that we have to save, and they got abandoned, and now we got to go get their money and bring it back to them, and now we're going to move them to Silverado, and they're going to set up camp there, and now we're in Silverado, and we're going to, so there's like a distinct progression of events, but each event has a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
And so it always feels like it's capped out and then you move on to the next thing, but those characters continue on the story. So I'd be very interested. I think I'm kind of surprised no one's made a Red Dead Redemption miniseries. I'd be very curious to see.
That would make a great movie too.
I would be very curious to see if maybe that moves the needle for some people. But because like Westerns, I agree with you. Westerns are so of a specific era. I always think the first name that always comes to mind when I think of Westerns in that era is Audie Murphy.
Oh yeah. Good old Audie Murphy.
That's the first name I always think of. Audie Murphy, World War II veteran and national cowboy. Yeah. But like you look at like The Searchers, which would be very difficult to remake now.
Impossible.
You'd have to have a lovable, like you'd have to have someone like Jeff Bridges playing Rooster Cogburn being this terrible racist and just be relying on the actor to keep people committed to the movie.
Yes.
Because it's going to be really tough to swallow watching this terrible racist go on this attempt to save his niece. But it's still a very compelling story.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And especially if you get a good... My problem with The Searchers was always the second guy. I always found the second guy so boring. Yeah. So blah boring. And just like, I'm going to take a nap.
Was Captain Pike in the original pilot of Star Trek.
No kidding.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
That's incredible.
Yep.
I would love
Jeffrey
to see...
Hunter, I believe his name is.
I would love to see Westerns make a comeback. I think that would be really fascinating.
Well, and the funny thing about what Spielberg said, Westerns were in their heyday for 80 years. Yeah. Superhero movies, quite literally, I would say heyday, 20 years.
I would say even less than that, because I would say...
Because the first Iron Man was 2008, right?
Was 2008, but I don't think we're still in the heyday. I think we're in the afterglow at this point. I think the heyday for superhero films was 2012 to 2018. And after that, I think you get kind of into this bifurcated, because 2018 you have Black Panther and Infinity War and, for better or worse, Justice League had just come out. I guess that was 2017, but still. Yeah. But, like, after that, you get Endgame, which felt more like the conclusion than anything else, and all of us kind of packed our bags and went home after that, and Marvel was like, no, the party's still going. We're like, nah, dude.
No, it's not.
It's not. We're done. We're going home. And so, like, I really think it was about 6 or so years where it was, like, the hottest thing in the world, and then after Aquaman... the bottom fell out.
Oh, it just was
and everything after that has been bad, except for some independent superhero things that are, better retellings. I'm thinking of like Upgrade, and it's like it's a better version of Venom than Venom.
Yeah, I would say the only like solid mainstream superhero movie was Deadpool and Wolverine in that time frame.
Yeah, and again, that's entirely artist led. Yeah, that's because you have an artist with a very specific vision for the piece, to the point where I love that Ryan Reynolds is like, for so long he was like, I don't know who leaked that, and years later he's like, I don't know who leaked it, and now he's like, I don't know. but maybe I did. I don't know, but maybe I did. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who did? Who could have done this? I don't know. And but thank God he did. I still remember when that test footage dropped.
Oh my God.
And I was like, this is what we could have if you would just try.
And it only took 24 hours to get greenlit after that test footage.
Yeah.
Genius.
And it was going to get blocked.
Yeah.
It was never going to get made.
No.
It was going to get put back behind the woodshed again.
Movie companies do that shit.
I mean, like, you look at what Fox was putting out at that time. This was 2016. Days of Future Past had just come out. I believe X-Men Apocalypse was either later that year or the next year, which, like, I have a special place in my heart for X-Men Apocalypse.
It's got its moments.
It feels like a comic book in a lot of moments to me, or like a Saturday morning cartoon. I think that's why I like it. But it also fails at a lot of stuff. Yeah. As much as I love seeing Wolverine in the Weapon X costume, it felt a little forced.
Oh, yeah.
As much as I love the costumes at the end of the movie, the stuff with Apocalypse going to Auschwitz, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, and I never quite loved Sophie Turner as Jean Grey.
I kind of nothinged her.
Exactly. It was like, no, I need, like, Famke Janssen, she fit that role. Like, she might not have really looked what I would have think Jean Grey would look like, but she acted like she was that person.
Well, and especially, like, she might have been a little young at the time, but you figure Sophia Lillis had just been in It.
Yeah.
She probably could have been a pretty good age-appropriate Jean Grey.
I agree.
It could have been interesting, and she's, in my opinion, a better actress than Sophie Turner. I think they're very similar, but I think she's a better actress.
I'm curious to see the new Laura
The Laura Croft thing might change my mind.
It might, but I'm curious.
Here's the thing. When have they ever made a good Laura Croft movie?
I still like the Alicia Vikander. How do you say her name?
I've never watched the
It's actually entertaining.
Because I read the reviews and I was like, oh, another bad.
And a very good villain turn by Walton Goggins in the movie.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. It's if you have you played the remake of Tomb Raider?
I haven't played it, but I watched someone else play it.
The game is like they do a lot of the movie but it's actually an entertaining. Like, I really like it, and I like her as, I know the big, everyone hated her as it because she didn't have boobs. And it's like, okay, but she's a great character. She's a great actor.
What she doesn't have in boobs, she makes up for in raw acting talent.
Look at the person previous that played the character who had boobs, and it was laughably bad. Like, I'm sorry.
What about Daniel Craig's bad American accent? Or Gerard Butler being Gerard Butler?
I think Daniel Craig's was dubbed.
I do remember this.
I believe it's dubbed. Yeah. It's not even his voice.
Yeah.
So, no, that's a fucking...
Yeah, no.
That alone is worth watching it just to see that shit.
I know. I want a documentary about the nightmare of making movies in the 2000s because producers were still coked out like it was the 80s, but now they had technology that they thought was going to fix everything.
Yeah. Let's give fanboys an erection and put Angelina Jolie. It's like, no, dude, no, she was terrible.
And then because of that, we have Wanted years later.
Oh, God.
Even
though that movie is dog shit, except for when James McAvoy quits.
Yeah.
And hits Chris Pratt in the face of the kid. That scene when he quits is spectacular. The rest of the movie's garbage.
That movie, like, I sat through so much. You want to know the straw that broke the camel on that movie?
What's that?
It was Morgan Freeman saying fuck. That was the thing where I was like, I can't with this anymore.
No, it doesn't fit.
Kill this fucking guy.
Yeah. No.
I'm done.
No,
I'm out. I'm out.
I do have to throw out a very good, and I saw this recently, and it's been a while, very good Morgan Freeman bad guy movie.
Oh, yeah?
Hard Rain.
I remember the trailer
with Christian Slater.
Yeah.
Awesome movie. It's a very good, it's about Christian Slater. It drives a Brinks truck, and it gets caught in this town, and it's getting robbed, and it's during this deluge that floods the town. And it's like a survival movie then with people in the town, and Morgan Freeman is one of the bad. It's awesome. It's a very, when I say awesome, it's not going to win any awards, but it's just a really good.
But it's still fun, excellent.
Yeah,
it's a
very
popcorn
fun
movie.
Exactly. Very good popcorn movie.
And we need popcorn movies now more than ever.
Speaking of popcorn movies, I have been on a mission the last, say, month. It's been a very long time. So I have my warm blanket movies.
Yeah.
My favorite movie franchise is Star Trek. Everyone knows that. 2 and 6, my warm blankets. Anytime I need to, anytime I'm depressed or sad or I'm tired, put those two movies on. Oh, love it.
Did you have a warm blanket or a scratchy blanket?
Warm blanket.
Good.
So I decided, it's been a while since I've watched all of the, I'm going to say BA before Abrams, the original 10. It's been a long time since I watched. Some of them I've watched more recently. Some I have not watched in a very long time. So I went through and rewatched them all. So I have a new order.
Hey, an update.
An update order. And there was a massive shift with one movie. Well, actually, massive shift with two movies. So 2 is obviously my number 1. Wrath of Khan, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
6, Undiscovered Country. Easily, those two movies are not only great movies, they are quite literally 2 of the best science fiction movies ever made. If you have not seen them and you're a sci-fi fan, you got to fucking watch them. They're both perfect. I mean, they're so fucking good. So then number 3 would be First Contact, which that has been number 3 forever. Great movie, once again. And I heard somebody recently refer to it as like a survival horror movie, like a sci-fi horror. And it really is.
Yeah.
And watching it, I'm like, there are a couple things that don't age well, but overall, fantastic movie. The funny parts are funny. The serious parts are serious. And it's got some great action, some good scares and all that.
I love Geordi being starstruck.
Yes.
That's great. And it's like the 5th time James Cromwell is on Star Trek. He loves Star Trek.
He loves Star Trek.
He will put on the makeup and everything.
He's so great in this movie. I absolutely love him. And then, so I would say my first 4 have been this forever. So my 4th one is number 3, Search for Spock. Very underrated.
I kind of disagree with you, but I'm going to let you go.
You get a chance to watch it again. Christopher Lloyd, awesome as a Klingon. And the movie itself, it has a lot of great moments because it really leans into the characters. It does have the action scenes, but the part in the beginning where they're dealing with Bones having Spock in his head, and then they're breaking him out of prison, and then they're all working together to get him out of prison. Love that fucking movie. Like it's one of those ones. Yeah, it's a love it or hate it for a lot of people, but for a Star Trek fan and watching it again, I'm like, oh, it's fucking good.
Question for you then, and this is an argument that I wasn't even alive for. Do you think that it undermines the end of Wrath of Khan?
No, and I think the only reason it didn't is because they left the Easter eggs in Wrath of Khan by having it land on Genesis and having Spock do the final frontier at the end. That right there, I remember when Wrath of Khan came out and everyone going, oh. And I think it was shortly after it says the search for Spock. And you're like, okay, Spock's coming back.
Yeah.
No, it's still... Spock's death is still, in my opinion, and I will argue this to the day I die, the greatest death scene in cinema. And for a lot of reasons, one of the main ones is he died heroically saving everyone. He got to spend his last minutes with his best friend, and then they had an emotional send-off for the character. Like, it was as perfect a death scene as you could ever fucking ask for.
It's so good that it is the only thing about Into Darkness that I still like, and even then it doesn't work. I like it for the attempt. Work. But they hadn't earned anything. It's built off of the nostalgia of Wrath of Khan. And so there's an element of like, I see what they're doing. And I really like it for that.
Yeah.
But it's fully unearned. You don't believe that Spock has these emotions for Kirk by the end of that movie.
Well, not only that, to switch the characters, the only reason Spock was able to do what he did in Wrath of Khan is because he's part alien. Kirk would have been dead the second he stepped into that thing. So that was the number 1. Number 2, the thing that made the Wrath of Khan deaths, Spock's deaths, so powerful was there wasn't a big action scene afterwards.
Yeah.
It's just Kirk dealing with this crushing loss of his best friend for all of those years. And you're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so good. Oh,
you don't like so running over sky cars in San Francisco?
No, I was fucking... I hate it. I don't even acknowledge the Abrams movies anymore.
What about being able to teleport planet to planet so we don't need spaceships anymore?
Fucking dumb. Number 5 on my list now is Star Trek the Motion Picture.
No kidding.
I rewatched, and I had recently got the 4K director's cut. So I watched the director's cut, and in rewatching it, I'm seeing it now at an age where I realize what they were doing. People wanted Star Wars. Star Trek was never going to be Star Wars, so it is more of a cerebral, slow burn.
Yeah.
But everything about this movie, the visuals. And there's a very interesting thing going around the Star Trek circles that where they said Voyager went to when it met this robot alien race is the exact same place that the Borg were found. So everyone's like, what if the Borg reprogrammed it? Because they said even before they became the Borg and started assimilating, they were just this lost, like, humanoid, half robot, half humanoid race that was kind of lost. But they had this technology, and that's when they evolved into the Borg. But V'ger could have gone to that. They built the ship. And so, I mean, that obviously isn't the case because the Borg weren't even thought of back then. But the movie itself, it reminded me a lot of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Okay. It is a very good, solid science fiction movie with excellent acting. It's just a very slow burn.
Yeah.
Like, I love Close Encounters. If I ever need to go to sleep at night and I can't, I will put that movie on and it'll knock me right the fuck out.
My issue with Close Encounters is that Richard Dreyfuss is as much a douchebag in that movie as he is in real life. And I prefer him as a Matt Hooper type who's, like, lovable, if a little corny and a little bit maybe ostentatious, a little nerdy or nebbish. I don't want douchebag Richard Dreyfuss.
But the good thing about douchebag Richard Dreyfuss in that movie is it gave us a great Terry Garr performance. Her performance off of him was fucking great.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
As the housewife just watching him go into madness. It was like, dude, that was fucking awesome. Yeah.
When she left the house with the kids, I was like, good.
Yeah, get the fuck out of there.
Please, leave this man. Oh my God, you got to get away from him.
It's fucking nuts. So then after one, this is where the major shift happened. I originally had Generations next. Star Trek Nemesis.
No kidding.
After
From
watching
the back.
it was down. It wasn't last. There were two movies before that.
Yeah.
To the end. So it was third from the bottom.
But still.
After watching it again, it's been a fucking minute since I've seen it. Tom Hardy is actually really fucking solid in that movie.
Really good in that movie.
And the battle at the end was so much better than I remember. Like, I'm watching it like, this is fucking awesome. Like, the space battle is intense.
Yeah.
Like, there are... And this is where the Ron Perlman we had talked about earlier. Ron Perlman plays the Viceroy to Tom Hardy's character.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's so fucking good, but it's Ron Perlman in makeup.
Yeah.
But he's so great in those prosthetics that you're like, dude, I totally buy all this.
We were talking about Hellboy before the show.
Yes.
And, I mean, Ron Perlman is such a great actor in terms of being a character actor. You want to talk about somebody who can disappear into a role. It's just like, there are moments where you're just like, who?
Yeah.
What? When was he in this? I especially love finding out that he's a voice in something. That's always my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody who loves Batman the Animated Series, original Clayface.
Yep.
Ron Perlman.
Yep. And he has a very amazing fight at the end with Riker. It's him and Riker in a fist fight. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. And it's the only man tall enough to have a fist fight.
Oh, yeah.
With fucking Jonathan Frakes.
Is fucking
and his 6'5" or whatever he is.
And I love Data's death. I remembered it differently, but they were wise that it's super fast.
Yeah.
Like, he literally gets on the ship, locks eyes with Picard, teleports Picard out, and blows the ship up. And it's over in like a minute. And it's fucking great. Like, it's like, either have a long, well-done, drawn-out death scene like Spock, or have a nice quick one like this.
Yeah.
And there's no pomp and circumstance. It's just... And then they do a toast, and it's emotional, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, that was a really good fucking movie.
That's the thing, and I look at Marvel with this most of all. What would have happened if that was in a Marvel movie? Someone would have had a snide comment back on the bridge.
Stupid joke.
And then during the toast, they would have made the exact same joke, and it did, with different words, but the exact same joke, and it wouldn't have been funny there either. And all the fans would have been like, can we just have a moment to mourn our friend? Like, what are we doing?
And they had the perfect dialogue introduction by Riker when they're doing their little toast. And he brings up, when he first met Data, was on the holodeck during the Farpoint
in the
mission
first episode.
when he was trying to whistle.
Yeah.
And I just, as soon as he said it, my brain just flashed back to that scene.
Yeah.
Because I remember that like it was yesterday. And I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So Nemesis... So much better than I remember. I put that Like I almost put it above 1. But it's like
it's hard to do.
A Generations movie has to really be great to put it ahead of an OG one.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. It's that this is always the problem, is that you have to do everything the original did and surpass it.
Yes.
And it can't just be on the back of better effects or something. You have to do it on the back of the story and the acting and the directing. And that's why so many things don't feel as good as the original, is because the original, A, has a nostalgia quotient of being a remarkable thing within its own moment in time that means something to the person. But B, there's always this arms race of trying to keep up with what happened before.
Yep.
And so many people want to make their own thing.
Oh, it's so fucking stupid.
I don't want to do the rules. I want to make my own thing. Then make your own thing. Then make Rebel Moon.
Yes.
And have it essentially be Star Wars, but somehow not Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it'll still suck.
Because it's dog shit.
Because it's dog shit.
So after that, I have Nemesis, and then the next one would be Generations. Do love Generations.
Yep.
I do have a lot of fondness for this movie just because I think I've told this story before. When I was in driving school for the... No, was it driving school? Yeah, driving school for the Marines. I was in North Carolina for... Was it a month? Month or 2 months doing driving school. And Generations had already come out the year before. And they had a small little movie theater. And all it was a barracks that they put up a screen and put chairs. And for $1, you could go see the movie. And for 2 solid weeks, every night they played Generations. And since it was only $1, I went every fucking
Hell
night.
yeah.
And so a big part of me still has one of the scene in it where Data and Picard are on the, like in the map room. I still remember how blown away, how amazing that looks. And like digital, like visually, especially on a 4K transfer, the colors of the map, it just pops.
Yeah.
And it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And the movie itself, it's not, I wouldn't say it's a great movie. It's a good movie. Mm-hmm. It's got its problems. It's the first one with the Generations crew. So you're like, okay, I can see how there's some issues here and there. They overdid the comedy with Data with the emotion trip where he's always saying shit and all that. And it's like, okay, I think you overdid it with that. But it was still a solid movie, and so that's there. And this is going to be where I get a little bit of pushback, I think, from some folks. I put Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home next. It's pretty far down the list.
I agree with this placement on the list. I'm not saying it's the worst, but it's not good.
I like the movie. The reason why I put it down is because of it being on Earth in the 80s. Yeah. It doesn't age well unless you're like from my generation. You're like, oh, I remember this and this and this and that. Because I talked to a lot of people who were, weren't born in the 80s and they have no fucking affinity for it because they're like, well, this isn't science fiction. It's fucking...
Well, it has the exact same problems as Picard Season 2.
Yes.
You take it from this wonderment
Yep.
of the future to the tawdriness of the present.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, I come here to escape the present. I don't want to be in the present. Why are you making me hang out with my favorite characters in the present? I want to hang out with them at their house.
And it's... Unfortunately for it, since that movie came out, they've done the fish out of water to death. Uh-huh. So that's what makes it also kind of cringe, even though when it came out, it was still kind of a newer thing, so it all worked really well. The one big thing about this, and I saw this on a documentary, the donations to save the whales after that movie went up so much that Star Trek IV gets a lot of credit for saving the whale population because a lot of people had no idea. And they once saw that movie, they're like, oh.
Yeah.
And because like when they're at the, I don't know if you remember this, when they're at the aquarium and the what's her face, Jillian is doing the tour, and they're in the tour and they show the video of the whales getting killed. It's really brutal.
Yeah,
like they're showing whales get skinned and like all this blood. I was like, oh,
yeah. But
intentionally they did that to really
get to drive home how predatory and bad this practice is.
This is where another little move happens. So there's 2 movies left. Yeah. There's Insurrection and 5. Mm-hmm. Easily the 2 worst of the series.
So who's going to come out with the Tank Bowl trophy?
I used to have 5 and then Insurrection last.
Uh-huh.
I am switching that.
Oh.
Insurrection, I will say, still not good.
Yeah.
But it is not nearly as bad as I remember it. I have not watched it for a long time because I remember when I saw it last, I was like, man, this is dog shit. But I've rewatched it, and from just a different lens and a little bit of time, I'm like, I see where they were going with this movie. They just happen to have a terrible villain. Happen to have really weird downtimes. It's like an average TV episode of Next Generation.
Yeah.
Is what this movie is.
And a movie should never be an average episode of a TV show.
Not even a little bit.
It should be the best version of an episode of the TV show.
So it's not terrible. It's okay.
I remember the script in that one having problems. Where I just remember that one being like, oh, this is what we're doing.
Well, and it's sad because it is directed by Jonathan Frakes. Yeah. And Jonathan Frakes usually does a great job.
He's a good director.
He's a fantastic director. Yeah. And when it comes to doing Star Trek, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
And it has one of my favorite comedy scenes where he gets his face shaved from Commander Troy, and he's walking by Data, and Data looks at him and he goes, smooth as an android's butt. And then Data looks and he puts his hand out and rubs it and then just shakes his head. No one walks away. I love that. I laughed my ass off at that scene. And I'm like, I forgot how fucking funny. Because Brent Spiner, timing in that, perfect.
Brent Spiner is such a strange creature to me. Because he is so good.
He's so talented.
And then there are times where you're just like, how is this the same guy?
It's got to be the writing.
Yeah.
The writing is just... And he's even said in some interviews, he goes, some of the shit they make me say.
Yeah.
How can I learn this shit in like a day, but I got to fucking learn all this crazy dialogue.
Yeah. Well, and like, not even just as Data. Like, I look at him in Independence Day, and I'm like, I can see how this would work. But at the same time, what the fuck is the execution here?
Well, it's one of the worst written movies.
Well, but like there are just so... Because like I got the same kind of feeling from Picard Season 2.
Yeah.
It's like watching a devolved Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And you're just like, he's just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. And it's fine, but at the same time, you're kind of just like, what is happening here? What's going on?
It's fucking nuts.
This is Data, right? But this is Data? Data. Not Data, but Data.
But Data. So that only leaves Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. 99% of this movie is pure dog shit. Mm-hmm. Like, I could not... I tried everything in my power. I could not figure out what I liked about that movie. Mm. Except for one scene. There's one scene in this movie which might be the best acted scene in any Star Trek movie. And it's when Sybok, Spock's brother, is trying to convert Dr. McCoy. Mm-hmm. And he brings him to when his father's deathbed.
Yes.
That scene, DeForest Kelley, holy fuck, dude. That scene still is, the emotions of that scene are astronomical.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wish this movie could be good.
Yeah.
Because that scene languishes in a just massive pile of steaming dog shit.
Yeah.
And it really makes me sad.
Yeah. Because
you're like, fuck, dude.
I feel that way. This is a terrible example because we're going to go from I couldn't save my father from cancer to I really like the Electro scene in Amazing Spider-Man 2 in Times Square. I know that movie gets trashed on. I know that there's a lot of good reasons why that movie gets trashed on. I think that scene is actually not just good, but great. Uh-huh. Because it has a lot of the storytelling elements done in musical cues. And that's not something you get to see out of superhero movies and shows and stuff a lot. Is like, we're going to explore the pathos and psychology of this broken character through musicality. And not by Jamie Foxx rapping, but by Hans Zimmer coming up with a really dope-ass musical score.
Yeah.
And then seeding in these elements throughout it. And it's like, okay, that is fucking so dope, and I would love to see this in a better movie.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's not that this movie's bad, but it is crippled by terrible producing.
Yeah.
And some very lackluster direction.
It's just too many fucking villains. Like, they always make that mistake.
Too many fucking villains. Again, a complete disregard for canon.
Yeah.
A sense of we have to include Aunt May and the blue-collar workers at the airport.
And the worst rhino ever in the... Well, until Kraven the Hunter. The worst rhino in history.
And just so many elements. And even I still would argue the rhino could work. They're in the ultimate version. The rhino is a guy in a robotic costume. This could work if you did it properly, but you didn't do it properly.
Not even a little bit.
Why do you have ox arms in this secret underground bunker? Who's this idiot in the hat? Why? Why does Peter's father come back?
I don't know.
What the fuck are you doing?
It was so dumb.
There was just so many elements of that movie.
Yeah.
I want to recut that movie so bad because there are great moments in that movie. And Emma Stone is sharp as a tack.
Yep.
Andrew Garfield is really adorable.
My favorite Spider-Man, by far.
By far.
Yeah.
Because he's the most emotionally resonant Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire is too emotional. He cries all the time. Yep. He has no ability to stand up for himself.
And I never bought his little quips.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have any. He
has
has
every now and then he'll have one.
He has one per movie.
Yeah.
So when he's hanging out with Bonesaw, and he flips up onto the top of the rails and he says a line that can't be said by Spider-Man anymore. That's a cute outfit. Did your husband make it for you?
Yeah.
And he has one per movie, and they're outrageously lackluster. And I'm like, and this is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The guy who talks all the time.
He is one of the best shit talkers in the fucking MCU.
Like top 2.
Yeah.
And the only reason he's top 2 is because Deadpool got a lot of track in the last 20 years.
Yeah, that's true.
And so he's kind of caught up with him.
That's
but
true.
if we're talking about the arc of history, Deadpool didn't start as a smarmy character.
Yeah.
Pete's been smarmy the whole time.
Yeah.
And so I love that scene, and I wish that Amazing Spider-Man 2 was better. And I'm not going to get into a Spider-Man rant right now. We're not going to do it.
I only have one last thing to talk about with Star Trek, and then it's on to you.
Okay.
I will say this franchise, the OG Star Trek, 2 of the best voices ever in film, movies, whatever, were in Star Trek. One is Leonard Nimoy. You hear that voice? It's it's Leonard Nimoy, and it's just such an amazing voice. Mark Leonard, who plays Sarek,
Okay.
Spock's father, is fucking his voice. If you watch it and just listen to his voice, it is so distinctive and so incredible. Like, he sounds like an ancient mage, which he plays on Old Vulcan, but it has that sound that kind of like if you watch old I'll use Santa Claus the movie with this. The old elf in it is Burgess Meredith. Mm-hmm. And his voice, once you heard it, you're like, I can believe this is an old, ancient. It just has that gravitas to it. Both of their voices. As I'm watching them, I'm just like, dude, they're so fucking good.
Have you, you weren't going to say Kirk?
No, because Kirk, it's Shatner and he has the pauses and all that.
But it's Shatner.
I know, but it's not.
He can turn anything into a spoken
but here's
word
the thing.
rap.
And I know this is going to get me kicked out of all the fan clubs. Kirk is still not my favorite character he played.
No.
Denny Crane is the best character he ever played on Boston Legal.
I'm getting a lot of those clips on TikTok, and it's like, I can see why people like him.
He is so great in that show, and it's like, I love Kirk, but it's like, I've always been a Picard guy, dude. I drink Earl Grey tea.
I think that's also the reason why James Spader is Ultron, is because of Boston Legal.
Oh, yeah.
I think they were like, oh, we need a Robert Downey Jr. type.
Also, he had started doing The Blacklist before, and he played that like evil kind of swarmy intellectual, and I think that also, yeah. But also, no, he is Robert Downey Jr.'s pimp in Less Than Zero.
I forgot about that.
He sells him for sex. So it's like, okay, he is his bad guy already. It's a perfect person to put in there.
There were a lot of crossover. Like, there's so many moments where you see those people that were associated with the Brat Pack now. And you're just like, they're like, the one that I always get is, it's not Michael C. Hall, whatever his name is. Michael, the Breakfast Club kid.
Michael Anthony Hall?
Yeah, Michael Anthony Hall, who goes from this twerp to like this roided out guy in his 30s. And I'm just like, I see him in Community. I'm just like, and you're the
it's
the
not
kid
the same.
from okay.
That's it.
Sure? And I think he's also in I want to say he's the reporter in The Dark Knight.
Oh, I think he might be.
I think he's the one that has a late night show.
I think so.
That the guy goes on. He's like, I'm going to expose Batman's identity.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick before we go, what was that movie? Why can't I think of the name of it? Thank You, Chuck? Or
Life of Chuck.
Life of Chuck. I watched it.
Isn't it good?
Not only is it spectacular, I think you undersold how good it is.
Yeah. That opening is fucking crazy.
It is. It wasn't like you spoke it up so much that I went in there thinking it was going to be like kaijus running around.
No.
It kind of downplayed it a little.
It's terrifying in the sense of like you can totally imagine all of these things actually happening in sequential order.
It was such a great movie.
It's so good.
And I don't want to go into detail because we already did, but there are 2 cameo shout-outs that you did not bring up, which I don't even know if you caught. The grandmother is Mia Sara, a.k.a. Ferris Bueller's girlfriend in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Really?
That's Mia Sara.
That's Sloane?
And then the woman that he brings the muffins to is Heather Vanderkamp, who played Nancy in Nightmare on Elm Street.
No kidding.
Yes! So I'm watching them like, that's fucking Nancy. I'm like, I haven't seen her in anything since Nightmare on Elm Street. Yes!
No, I love that movie because once you start putting the breadcrumbs together,
dude,
that beginning third act is like,
and in the second act, I started really kind of pulling it together.
Yeah.
But and Mark Hamill was spectacular.
Oh, he's so good as Bubby. When he gets upset because Chuck goes in the room or is about to go in the room, and he throws him down the stairs.
Yep.
Oh my God! And then the look of horror on his face when he realizes what he's done. And just like, God, dude. The more I thought about that movie, the more I really, really liked it.
I would give that a solid A+. Yeah. And it's one of those movies, that's a movie that should be up for Best Picture.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to give credit to the people who did the advertising for it. I think that's the best way to advertise that movie. No information.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh, Tom Hiddleston dances.
A scene of Tom Hiddleston dancing and a cast list.
Yeah.
That's how you sell that movie, because the more you know about that movie, the different your perception of things is going to be.
Yes, I agree.
And the less you know, the better.
I agree.
It's so great. I really like that
spectacular movie.
I really love Matthew Lillard when
he's just talking. In it for so little time.
He just has this weird soliloquy where he's calmly talking about like, I guess this is the end of the world. Never thought it would happen like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck, dude?
It's fucking crazy. It's so good.
I got actually scared when they're sitting in Karen Gillan's backyard and they're watching the stars. The stars disappear. I got scared. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is about to happen? I really like that movie.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you.
For my watch, play, read.
Yes, sir.
I want to start in a kind of weird place because we were joking about this before the show, but I think it's worth talking about. The new season of Bridgerton is out. Oh, God. And it's really nice. And I get it. Like, listen, this is not anywhere close to what we would usually talk about, right? Me and my wife watch Bridgerton. It is such a wonderful, relaxing escape from all of the usual fare that I subject myself to when it comes to media, when it comes to the world, when it comes to news. I really there's something about escaping to Bridgerton where things definitely matter, but they matter in the same scope as the NFL matters in real life. It doesn't really matter. It means a lot to a lot of people. But if we had to choose either the NFL or the end of the country, we could choose the end of the country and keep going forward and just not have the NFL, right? It would suck. It would be bad. I would be unhappy, but it would be doable. A lot of the stuff that happens in Bridgerton is kind of in that same vein of like, oh man, I have to take over the household. I don't want to do that. Can my brother do that? I don't want to do that. I want to explore the world. Or my favorite thing that keeps coming up is the hilarious element of no one knowing what the fuck sex is. And so the entire show is about these rich upper class people getting paired off and married, and the Queen of England watching while all this is happening and all the gossip that goes around it. And inevitably, we meet one of these women, and especially the women that are tied to the Bridgerton family. They go out into the world, they get married to this guy, and then they have no idea what sex is. And it's just always so funny watching these prim and proper people kind of trying to figure out what the fuck sex is, because there's so much sex in the show. The entire show, this show doesn't have like a Game of Thrones level of sex, but it's in a very similar realm.
Oh yeah, that's what it was known for from that first season.
Yeah. I will say, Since then, they've kind of pulled it back and it's more character-based, but there are still at least one extremely explicit sex scene per season. And it's just like, there's something so wonderful about just watching it with my wife and razzing the characters as we go and just like talking about the stupid decisions that they make and, oh my God, what the fuck are you thinking, my dude? Politely, unpolitely, what the fuck? And so the other thing that I like about Bridgerton is that they very, very clearly take another story. And I guess this is also the case in the books. There's a whole book series. Kelly tells me what happens in the books. I don't fucking know shit about the books. I only know what happens on Netflix. So in the Netflix ones at least, but I assume in the books as well, the stories all take from other literary sources.
Okay.
So like we just rewatched the second season. The second season has a very big Pride and Prejudice feel. Of these two characters that can't get along and they're always butting heads and they seem diametrically opposed on literally everything and oh my God, they want to fuck so bad. And the new season 4, is a Cinderella soliloquy kind of thing of like, you have this maid and she may have come from aristocracy, but her dad's gone and her evil stepmother uses her and abuses her to do everything for her two evil stepsisters who are actually that evil. One is kind of a bitch, but the other one is like pretty nice. And the stepmother's played by Cho Chang.
Oh, weird.
And but I really like it. And you know, like the key with all of these seasons is the Bridgerton family. Like you're in it for all of the silliness and the gossip, but the Bridgerton family and the characters therein kind of push the story forward. It's just funny watching these characters who are so prim and proper make buffoons of themselves. Like my favorite joke is that Jonathan Bailey of Scarecrow fame from Wicked, not to be confused with Jonathan Crane of Scarecrow fame from Batman. Jonathan Bailey plays the eldest son and has this whole thing because, and it makes sense, right? His dad dies very suddenly and very tragically in his arms from a bee sting. Like his dad is just picking flowers, gets stung by a bee, and dies. And suddenly he's the head of the family. He has to take care of everything. He has a very aggro way of doing all of this. He's very hands-on and pushy. And as soon as I saw how this was going on, I was like, this is a guy from The Sopranos. This is a guy who should be in New Jersey making things happen the way he wants to in a velvet tracksuit. And so I just started calling him Tony Bridges.
Oh, Jesus.
And so just watching Tony Bridges going about his business, doing what he thinks is best in any given situation, and then absolutely losing his fucking mind when a bee shows up. It's fucking hilarious every fucking time. It's so... It shouldn't be funny. It's so fucking funny. Because you're just sitting there, and he's like, it's a bee! It's like, okay, calm down. You're going to have an aneurysm. Like, dude, calm down. And so very similarly, the new season is about his younger brother, Benedict, who is now, because Jonathan Bailey is famous, has to take over as the head of the family because Tony's not around. Tony married a girl from India, and now he's over in India, so Tony's not around. So now Benny has to take over. So now the entire season's about Benny Bridges and how Benny Bridges doesn't want to be Big Brother anymore. He wants to go and be an artist and make out with dudes and ladies and maybe have his dick sucked a few times a day wouldn't be bad, and also having a drink. Also, I'm going to take all of this hallucinogenic powder and I'm going to just shove it in my face.
Okay.
It's just like, I love Benny Bridges because he's fucking crazy. Benny Bridges falls in love with Cinderella. It's really funny watching this whole progression of events. You know, they get trapped at a house together. She knows who he is, but he doesn't know who she is. He doesn't know that she's the girl he's been running after with his glass slipper for weeks, or a silken glove in this case. And the climax of this part of the season is like, he's like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to forget about the girl that I met at the party who is the exact same girl that I'm chasing after now. But I don't know that. And I'm going to commit to this girl by asking her to be my mistress. And you're just like, Betty!
Oh my God.
What the fuck, Betty? And so, but like, this is why I love watching Bridgerton, is because this is the tone and feeling of watching the show, is just like, watching these characters who you really like build and build and build and build and build and then make the dumbest decision possible. And it's just like, this is the fucking best. I love this. And meanwhile, in between, you have the second sister who has never had an orgasm and is convinced that's why she can't conceive a child. And so now she's trying to coyly ask all these people about what the fuck is a climax. What the fuck does that mean? My husband keeps talking about the precipice. I don't know what the fuck that means. What the fuck is he talking about? And just like, anytime you have a moment where two people are talking and they're just like chatting and then the help leaves the room and the one person's like, you have to tell me what it means to come. I don't know what it means to come. I think it's the problem that I'm having and I need to know. And I know you came because you came before you went to the ice cream shop with me. I saw you. And so it's just like, I fucking love this. This is hilarious to me.
If I can add two things.
Yes.
My favorite line from season 3 is there's a sex talk happening and a woman who is already married is responding, and she's like, inserts himself where?
Like, these people don't know what sex is, except the men. The men all know what sex is because they've all had various mistresses and prostitutes and other things that they've bedded, but none of the women know what sex is. And it's all very, like, romantic fantasy kind of stuff.
I was also going to add, 4th season, Mama Bridgerton gets some.
Yeah, we get to see a woman in her, like, 50s actually get to have a sex scene.
Oh, weird.
And she looks good!
Which was, like, it was nice.
Yeah.
I also like, what I like about Bridgerton is they're very, like, upfront. And they're like, we don't care about race when we're casting characters. And we're not gonna care, and nothing you can say can make us care. And so it's a super racially diverse cast, which adds so much to the story. Because you have, I'll say it, some beautiful black men walking around in some of the finest suits you've ever fucking seen. And it's just like, you know, I'm not gay, but...
Well, I will joyfully allow you to have this all to yourself because I tried Bridgerton. It's just not my cup of tea.
That's fair. It's not Reggie Jean Page's cup of tea.
No,
either.
It's not.
He got famous and he was like, I'm done with this shit.
Now I'm gonna go off and be a fucking
paladin.
A paladin in fucking D&D. The paladin of all paladins.
So that was, I do love Bridgerton. Shout out to anybody who likes Bridgerton. And if you don't know about Bridgerton, check it out. You might actually really like it. And if anything, it's one of the horniest shows you can find.
But like anything, got to give it a try. I gave it a try. It wasn't for me.
Got to give it a try.
Got to give it a try.
Except in the case of Wonder Man. I will happily take secondhand information on Wonder Man and be like, that's good enough for me. Either you have to pay me or you personally have to ask me to do it for this show.
I know that there are certain things that you will never find the good in.
No.
And Wonder Man is one of them.
It's because I have standards, Steven. I have a standard that I need to be adhered to, and Marvel is like, standards? What are standards?
Oh, be ignored, Marvel.
Come on. So, next thing I wanted to talk about, a little less horny, but still kind of horny.
Yeah.
The Olympic opening ceremonies. Beautiful.
This is what I was talking about when I said I didn't like the French one.
Yeah.
With the boats.
Yeah.
Because this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
And this was absolutely spectacular.
What I really liked about this was that the opening number is great. And challenging.
Yes.
And overwhelming at times. I really love when they brought out the giant tubes of paint from the ceiling.
That was incredible.
The giant marching hordes all painted identically.
Yes.
Like some beautiful fucking trippy ass shit. So fucking good. I love that we've moved into, and I hope that this is a thing we try and do, because it's also going to be the case for the Summer Olympics. Because even though they're in LA, they're not in LA. They're like all over California and in parts of Canada and Mexico. And so I love that the Milan Olympics had a stadium view where you had some athletes come into the stadium.
Yes!
And then an Olympic village in the one mountain and an Olympic village in the other mountain. And it's like we have this parade going on in 3 locations at the same time. I love that. I thought that was so good.
That was so great.
And I would hope that would help lighten the load for, again, it won't help for third world countries.
Yeah.
Or, third world pivot countries like Brazil, where like a little bit of something can kind of ruin their economy. But like for first world nations, I think that's a brilliant idea. And I know a lot of people weren't excited about the LA Olympics to begin with. So I think the idea of spreading it out and not having it all be in one central location, not a bad plan.
Not a bad plan.
And especially if you're going to incorporate that in everything.
Yep.
Pretty good.
I agree.
There were some, shall we call them hiccups?
It's in Italy. You're known for opera. Why the fuck is a lip-syncing, completely dead Mariah Carey?
Not lip-syncing.
She didn't lip-sync?
No. You know why? Because she had a phonetic written teleprompter in giant letters. So it wasn't Italian. It was phonetically written
But
Italian.
it didn't look like her mouth was moving enough to get the fucking words
Because
out.
she was terrified because she was singing in Italian.
Dude.
I agree with you. This is not me defending Mariah Carey. This is me asking, what the fuck, Olympic Committee? What was your... This is Italy. You can't find a single Italian singer? This is Italy. What are we doing?
I don't get that.
Why is Mariah Carey here? I don't get this.
Literally the birthplace of opera.
Yes.
And you have all of these amazing singers, and you get fucking Mariah Carey, who looked like... I honestly thought she was dead at one point.
Yeah.
It's like, are they doing the Weekend at Bernie's and they're just making her mouth move
No,
or something?
I saw her and I was like, she's shaking. I can see her shaking on stage because she was singing in a language she doesn't speak. When Lady Gaga did the opening ceremonies for the French Olympics, Lady Gaga speaks French.
Yes.
And apparently a pretty good amount of Spanish, too, it turns out. But, like, I was just sitting there being like, what is happening? Why Mariah Carey? It's not Christmas.
No.
Why is this a thing?
But then also, is this a last-minute thing? Because I guarantee most artists... Now, mind you, I'm not putting her in this category because she thinks she is the diva of all divas. Most artists that know, like a year or two ahead of time, hey, I might, like, let's say a year ago they came up with this decision. They would learn.
At least that song.
That song.
At least that song. You don't have to learn Italian. You just have to learn the song you're going to perform.
There are American kids that go on America's Got Talent and sing Italian opera songs that they learned, and they're like fucking 15.
If there are kids these days that were anything like when I was growing up, there are kids that have learned Korean songs phonetically.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it makes no sense to me, and she did it so poorly.
Oh,
and
dude. That was so
I
bad.
blame her. I blame the situation she was put in. I blame her for having the arrogance to say, I can do this. Like, just bad ideas all around, similar to the giant bobbleheads of composers, which started out good, and then when they started, like, fucking... They weren't twerking, but they were basically, like, dabbing and shit. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah.
I feel like we lost the plot.
Yeah.
The last thing that I want to say, and I think that this is going to be a real problem, and this will also feed into the next subject, be on the watch this year, friends and enemies. I think this is the year AI comes for art. Because there was some absolutely cataclysmic AI in the opening ceremony. Like, so very clearly AI slop. Which, quick aside, I'm glad that we do this, but does anybody else not care that we all universally agree to call it AI slop? Like, that's just what it's called. That's the technical term. That's not a colloquial term. That's the technical term is AI slop because it's not art. You can't classify it as art. So we just all agreed to call it AI slop.
Yeah.
And people are still like, and I'm going to use the AI slop instead of artists. It's like, do yourself a favor. Look up the British opening ceremony animation that they use for this Olympics. It's spectacular. It's motivational. You feel empowered watching it.
The British, the London Games, the last ones, that was one of the best opening ceremonies I've ever seen.
Like, this is just like the same... way that there's like animations, like NBC has animations that they run when they have the British animations that they run are so fucking dope. They're so cool, and they put all of this stupid bullshit AI garbage to shame. The other thing that I wanted to note about with AI is that they also used AI to write the fucking captions. And I know this for two distinct, easily seen reasons. One, the very first thing that happens in this beautiful opening number is the spirit of Cupid comes down and starts infecting people with this athletic, artistic spirit. And he's going from person to person. Unless you read the captions. In which case, the captions tell you that it is Cuba. And I'm like...
I forgot about that.
Are you fucking kidding me? First off, They're 5-6 hours ahead of us. You couldn't take the time to fix the AI-generated captions in the intervening 6 hours? At some point, we were watching it Friday night. It wasn't live. It wasn't. You could have fixed this, but you didn't because you just put AI on it and you said good enough.
Maybe, though, Cupid was played by Cuba Gooding Jr. and they just got confused.
It's possible. Confusion.
That could have been.
It might have been. The other thing that was a super easy tell was the fact that the AI kept on trying to put captions to the Italian words being spoken in the stadium. Super fucking clear that you just had a robot sit down and write everything it heard. And when it didn't know what it heard, it just wrote it down phonetically or the closest English word that it could find. Shameful.
Yeah.
NBC, absolutely shameful.
Yeah.
Like, so bad. Like, you're doing so poorly on so many fronts between this and the rapid, over the years, downfall of SNL, where it is no longer nearly as good as it was even 5 years ago.
Terrible.
It's so much worse now. And even as progressive as it's gotten on some fronts, it's gotten weirdly conservative on other fronts. It's so bad. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's very uncomfortable. I look at this, get the AI shit out of here.
Yep.
Get it right the fuck out of here. If you want to write...
But you're right. It's the way things are going, which is terrifying.
This year, it's going to be everywhere. And I know that because we had like 6 or 7 Super Bowl ads that were all AI-generated ads.
AI-generated.
This last winter, every Coca-Cola ad you saw this last Christmas was AI generated. None of them were real. There's a Tooth Fairy ad going around right now for QuickBooks. I almost guarantee you it's an AI generated ad. Like, it is insane to me. They're all coming to fruition all at once.
Yep.
And they're trying to flood the market and be like, people won't care if we just inure them to it. They'll stop complaining.
Well, the other day I tried to call to make an appointment to change my oil at Hazelton. And their virtual assistant now that you talk to is AI. It was annoying because it could not do what I needed it to do, but it was the most realistic sounding voice. And if you were eavesdropping, you would think I was talking to a person.
Yeah.
Except the only way you couldn't tell is that there were pauses. And with the pauses, you knew that was, okay, that's an automated response that they're waiting for you to say. But it still was so fucking frustrating. It got to the point that I said to it, just fucking connect me to it.
That's what I always do. As soon as I get a robot, I'm like, I want to talk to a human. And then I'll just scream, talk to a human until I get a human on the phone. No, it's AI sucks. Yes. I'm tired of AI. I'm frustrated by everything about AI. Anything that I thought I could use AI for, I have found to be like a cowardly way out. For a little while there, I was like, well, I have this giant 200-page comic book that no one has the time to produce. Maybe I'll use AI to produce it. And even that now, people are like, I'd rather have bad art than AI-generated art.
Agree.
And it's like, well, okay, then I guess that idea's out because as soon as it becomes AI, people are going to hate it just for it being AI, which I can't blame them for, even though the only reason I would do that is because I'm not a good enough artist to draw it. And it would take I could hire an artist. I've tried to hire an artist for several years now. It's too big a project.
Yeah,
it's an enormous project, and they won't do it. They don't have the time. So it sits in limbo as just a script because I can't get it produced in any capacity. I don't have the talent to make it myself. I guess in the 7 years since it's been on the shelf, I could have taught myself to draw. I guess that's a valid argument.
It's hard to teach yourself to draw.
Yeah.
Though. That's a skill you have to have at least the bones for.
Yeah, so it's just like I'm very frustrated by AI because it keeps on getting in the way, and it's always the worst version of everything. It tells you what it thinks you want to hear, not necessarily what's true. It's almost always wrong, or at least partially wrong. It is a easy way to skip on actually having human interaction. And it's an extremely easy way to create false narratives. And just be like, well, the AI said this. Or my new favorite, the U.S. government using AI to create fake videos of events that they want people to have a secondary opinion on, even though the first camera angle was extremely clear. There's suddenly this mysterious second thing that predated. And it's like, I want them to start prosecuting AI companies for the evil that they've put into the world. I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
I agree.
Get this shit right out of here. If you can't be responsible, then you don't get the superpowers, my dude.
It's only going to get worse.
Oh, it's going to get way worse.
It's going to get so much
strap
worse.
in, kids.
Yeah.
The last thing that I wanted to talk about, I did not watch the Super Bowl.
Nope.
I did watch the Super Bowl halftime show. I will say, fuck the Patriots. Thank you, Seahawks. Up top big ones. I am angry that Sam Darnold got a Super Bowl before us. But if that's the worst thing I have to deal with, fine.
You know what, though? I am so glad he got it because it only makes the Jets look worse.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 ex-Jets. There were 2 guys. I'm trying to remember who the other guy was. But there's 2 Jets. Sam Darnold and another guy went to USC together. Both got drafted by the Jets and both ended up on the Seahawks for the Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, Jets, you guys can't get this right
so
at all.
bad.
It turns out Adam Gase is a terrible coach.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Who fucking could have guessed that?
I know, seriously.
But fuck the Patriots. I am so glad that Robert Kraft lost. I'm so glad that Drake May got pantsed and got run around like a child and got his shoulder beaten up and now has to deal with injuries in the offseason. Again, I don't wish harm on anybody except for Patriots because fuck you guys. I am so glad that the Seahawks owner, who swore she would never support Trump in any way, got a giant chance to be on a float. That's excellent.
That's
Happy to hear
amazing.
that. I'm glad Seattle got something and Boston lost everything. I am elated that there is now a second image of Stephon Diggs watching another team celebrate in confetti. Hell yeah. Fuck you, dude. Get fucked, Four Eyes. So I didn't watch the game. I watched the halftime show. Bad Bunny gave... I turned to Kelly halfway through and I was like, this is one of the really good ones. This is one of the really good ones. I really like that halftime show, not just for the imagery of it, but like it was so inviting. It was like, this is who we are. This is what we love. This is how we show our love and admiration. This is the culture we come from. This is the world we live in. And it's like, cool. Fuck yeah. I felt like I was back in the Bronx, you know? I joked to Kelly. I turned to her. I was like, oh, so this is what they were listening to in the park every Saturday. I really like that halftime show. I thought Lady Gaga's appearance was great. And yeah, I thought that it was excellent. The only thing that I would argue is get some better camera angles because he did have some really poignant political statements, but they were kind of blocked or so fast that you couldn't tell. So he had "We Are All American" written on football, but it doesn't come up long enough on screen to read that.
Okay.
And then on the Jumbotron behind him, it reads, "The only thing stronger than hate is love." And again, you can't really see it because there's a crowd of people dancing and doing stuff in front of it. So you can't really see this big message. So the message got out onto the internet all the same. I don't care. And I find it hilarious. Not hilarious. Troubling, sad, and incredibly frustrating and face punchable. The whole Kid Rock, halftime show garbage that they tried to pull. Fuck you guys.
Oh, it's fucking terrible.
Hey, fuck you, and I'm glad it didn't work. Bill Belichick got held out on first ballot of the Hall of Fame.
It's like Christmas for you.
Hell yes!
It's like Christmas for
Thank the gods!
Yeah.
This is the best thing ever! Oh my god! He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, guys! Holy shit! 6 Super Bowls and he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer!
That's the thing, too. 8 Super Bowls. Because he won 2 as offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So the man has 8 Super Bowls and was not a
first ballot Hall of Famer!
I do give Randy Moss credit on this. I think it was on the pre for the Super Bowl, and he did say this, and I agree with him on this. If you never played or coached a down of football, you should not vote on the Hall of Fame. And I agree on that.
Yeah.
Because I understand your happiness with the Belichick nine and all that. In the scope of football, it's as ridiculous as anything for him not to be in. Same thing to me with Pete Rose not being in baseball. And it's the same thing where you shouldn't be doing the Hall of Fame for baseball if you didn't play a single.
Well, you know the thing about that.
Well, I know the thing with the gambling, and I get it.
No, not the gambling. That was, I think it was What was it? What was the name of the commissioner? There was a commissioner that was in power. And
was it Rozelle?
No. It was before Rozelle.
Okay.
And I want to say it was Giambi, something like that. It was Gambino, something like that. Not associated with the crime family, a different Gambino. He was originally going to reinstate Pete Rose after everything happened. He had a whole conversation with Pete Rose. There was this amicable decision of like, you're going to do this thing where you're going to go around, you're going to tell players about the perils and pitfalls of gambling. You're going to go to schools and you're going to tell kids not to gamble. And then Gambino died.
Yeah.
And so a new guy came in and he said, fuck that.
Yeah.
You fuck around and you find out. And Pete Rose is still not in the Hall of Fame. I guess he is probably going to get in now that he's dead.
But still, the fact that... But it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking insane.
Yeah. No, listen. I never had to deal with Don Shula, right?
Yes.
I guess in like the first 4 years of my life before I really had consciousness, I had to deal with Don Shula. But as a football fan, I never had to deal with Don Shula. The idea that Don Shula would not be a first ballot Hall of Famer is insane.
And he has,
it's ridiculous.
2 Super Bowls, I think, Shula?
Shula, I think he had, 2, because he doesn't have 3. I know that the Dolphins don't have 3, so it has to be 2.
It was 2.
But also the winningest coach in NFL history.
Yeah.
Not for nothing. And who's 4 games behind him? Bill
Belichick. Yeah, no, it's so fucking crazy.
It's hilarious.
It really is crazy.
It's the fucking funniest thing ever.
But what I love, what makes me laugh even harder is the people that still will be like, oh, well, the integrity. Fuck you, integrity. You have no integrity because you are making these calls on a bias.
I would argue as an incredibly biased source that I think Spygate is a giant thing that he very luckily avoided. I think that there was way more to Spygate than what we ended up seeing. But that's the thing, though, is that interview with Jimmy Johnson where he's like, the only reason he got in trouble is because he got caught. We all fucking did that shit. And Jimmy Johnson came out and said, he goes, every coach, since coaching has begun, has done that shit. And you can film from certain angles.
Yes,
you
but
can't film from any angle. I get it. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
But that's the thing. It's not that he did it, it's that he got caught.
It's that he got caught by Eric Mangini.
Yeah, but it's like even in like the whole Bill Polian thing and all the stuff going on with the Colts with the Deflategate and all that, and it's like...
Oh, I don't care about that. See, that was just reactionary. I don't care about Deflategate.
But a lot of that is weighed into this,
No, it is. That's what I'm saying, is that it's reactionary to Spygate.
Yes.
So, for anybody who doesn't know what the fuck we're talking about, in 2006, the Patriots got caught with their hand in their pants.
Was it the Jets they were filming?
The Jets... They were filming the Jets, and they had plans to film Cincinnati.
Yes.
I want to say.
Yes.
And so it was, I believe the story goes that Eric Mangini warned Cincinnati or reported it to the NFL that they were going to film Cincinnati, and the NFL caught the Patriots illegally filming the sideline. Now, what that means is you can film the sideline from specific angles. You cannot film the sideline in such a way that you can pick up on signals from the coaching staff, such as hand signs or verbal signals that you can then use when planning your defense, because you can now look across the field and say, oh, they're doing this. That means this is coming. The idea was that the Patriots were filming everything. And were using that, including not just during games, but they were filming practices. They were sending people to film practices. And the reason why this is hypothetical is because the NFL came in, saw the tapes, said, I can't believe this isn't, oh my God, oh my God, burn everything. And it's just like, wait. Can we go back? Because I agree with the righteous indignation, but can we stop at the burn everything? Because I feel like the burn everything thing is going to be a problem. Because if you burn everything, then we're not going to be able to tell what the fuck happened, and we just have to take your word for it. Which
taking the word of the NFL and Goodell.
Of Roger Goodell?
Yeah, no.
You want me to take the word of Roger Goodell?
Oh, especially after the concussion stuff. It's like,
so it was just like, and the Ray Rice stuff, I think, was a few years down. That, I don't think that had happened yet, but like, it was just such a bad look to have this huge, clearly showing problem, like a giant, like super pimple of a problem, right in the center of the head of the most powerful franchise at the time. And Goodell said, there's definitely smoke and fire here, and also we burned everything. Yeah. And it's like, well, I feel like somebody else should have also been able to review those tapes, because I feel like there's probably more information and damning evidence that you got rid of. Yeah. So, and it makes sense that I know that this is going to sound counterintuitive. The NFL would 100% protect the Patriots. And now the Boston fans are going to be like, they took our pick. First off, you cheated. Of course they're going to take something from you. Second off, You, I, and everyone around you know that at that time the NFL revolved around Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and Peyton Manning. And having those people in positions of power where they were seen nationally on a regular basis was the most important thing the NFL had on its table. By far.
Oh, yeah.
Don't even start with me. I remember because I was there. You would have entire games where Tom Brady isn't playing. He's not even playing that week. The Patriots are on a bye week. And for some reason, we're talking about Tom Brady. It was everywhere. So it, of course, behooves the NFL to try and defend their cash cow while also placating the other 31 teams and saying, yes, this is bad, but you don't get to see how bad, and we'll take care of the punishment. And it's like, what the fuck do you mean? You can't.
It's the same as the refs and the calls with the Chiefs nowadays.
Yes,
same
exactly the same. It benefits them to have these people that have this clout in a position where they are seen regularly all the time by a national audience because they've developed a national following. Yeah. So it behooves the NFL to make sure that they are nationally visible, especially if they're going for a third championship, which had never been done before. Doesn't take a genius.
No.
Anyway, so I didn't watch the Super Bowl.
Yes. And I didn't as well. I did not watch a second of it.
I did watch the trailers. Not a lot of like, oh, wow, let's talk about this. The biggest ones that I saw that I was like, oh, that looks really interesting. I want to check that out. Project Hail Mary with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Looks really good. The new trailer for that looks so good. And it makes me want to see it in theaters. I really want to see this movie. It's by the writer of The Martian and Drew Goddard, who is like a nerd director. He's done a bunch of different things. This movie looks so cool. This movie looks so dope. And they gave away a little more than I wanted, but at the same time, the stuff that they showed me, I was like, oh, there's a little dude buddy in this? Oh, man, this looks really cool.
See, the jury's still out for me a little bit. It seems a little samey to me when I was watching it. And I'm like, I think I've seen bits and pieces of this entire trailer in different movies.
Yeah, I like the buddy element of he meets this alien, and then they have to figure out how to communicate, and then they have to figure out how to work together, and then they go on a mission. I'm really psyched about that. I think that looks really cool.
It could be good. I love Ryan Gosling.
I love Ryan Gosling. That's the other thing, is I love Ryan Gosling. Disclosure Day is the new Steven Spielberg movie coming out in June.
It could be good.
I don't know what it is, because it's like everything. There's like Colin Firth and he has weird eyes. And there's aliens coming down from the sky. And there's Emily Blunt looking perturbed. And there's Josh O'Connor, the priest from Wake Up Dead Man, jumping on trains.
Yeah, that really
And I'm just like, I don't know what the plot of this movie is, but it looks fascinating.
It looks like a mix of like Signs and War of the Worlds, but like
a little bit of I got a feeling of Super 8.
Super 8. I love Super 8
too. So like it had some of that in it. It had more lens flares than I remember Spielberg using, frankly. But that may have been why it felt like an Abrams trailer.
Exactly.
But this looks really fascinating to me. I just need a little bit more information before I commit.
That's how I felt about it too. And I love the cast.
Yeah.
And it is Spielberg doing sci-fi.
Spielberg directing a sci-fi film, which he hasn't done in a while.
No,
so
and
I'm
he's
curious.
batting really good with sci-fi. Like War of the Worlds, it wasn't great, but it was still good.
It was okay.
It was watchable.
It was passable. It wasn't perfect.
And my favorite, I know people who love Indiana Jones will hate me for this, my favorite Spielberg movie is still Minority Report, which is big sci-fi.
It's huge sci-fi.
So it's like...
It has a Tom Cruise style problem in the middle of it. Mainly Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
But, I love Colin Farrell in that movie. I always forget Colin Farrell's in that movie, and then I see him, I'm like, oh, this dude is like really dangerous. Great, And when Tim Blake Nelson shows up...
And Max von Sydow is the bad guy. It's fucking great.
I just can't do eyeballs. I can't do eyeballs.
I love eyeballs.
I can't do eyeballs.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious about that. The new Supergirl trailer looks interesting.
I have such bad feelings about this movie.
I'm very curious because I think it could work. Here's my thing. Is it a departure from the Supergirl we're used to? Absolutely it is, right? She is not bubbly at all. But I still see Kara Zor-El here. I'm having that moment where you smush her face and there you are, Peter. I see Kara here. The idea that she's going to her mother's funeral when she meets Crypto, which I'm assuming because she's walking with someone that looks like her dad, and Cara Zor-El is super close to her mom. She looks super bummed. I'm thinking that this is her mom's funeral. It looks like we're going to do, what is it, Kaladar? Whatever the city is that Brainiac takes. Is Brainiac going to be the villain in this? I don't even care about Lobo. Lobo is fun. Lobo's great.
He looks awesome. I mean, he's a character that Jason Momoa was built to make.
Yeah. But, like, I'm very curious. I think this could work. I worry it gets a little Guardians of the Galaxy at times.
That's my vibe. I know he's not directing it, but I watched that trailer. I'm like, this is a James Gunn written all fucking over it.
I love a comeback quip, and I love it from a girl, from a woman. The moment where she's like, "Oh, this is gonna go bad for you guys." That's such Gunn timing and style, and it's just like, as long I don't want this to be super James Gunny. I need this to have more heart than James Gunn usually puts in his stuff. I don't know that this isn't going to work. I don't know that it is going to work. But I'm more open to it than I was when I heard the plot initially.
But I'll be honest, after Superman, I have such low optimism for anything coming out of DC, the same way I feel about Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm just such...
I have better feeling about DC than I do Marvel, in part because I have less stock in DC. So, like, I have to think hard to remember Mr. Terrific's actual civilian name, whereas I call Simon Williams Simon Williams.
See, if I go back to... Because isn't Blue Beetle... Wasn't it officially
that was also
the first...
DC. That was technically... It was a middle point.
Middle point.
It was the end of the original EU and the beginning of the new one.
Because... Like, that to me was a great movie.
I love that movie
and
so
then
much.
if they could have built off of that vibe a little better, but it's like...
See, I would watch a Teen Titans that's Kara and Jaime and, like, a Damian Wayne.
Yeah. That would be fucking
Impulse
awesome.
from the future, Bart Allen. Awesome. I would watch the shit out of that. Holy shit! Anyway, so that looks pretty fun. I'm into that. Two quick ones.
No.
Minions and Monsters.
Yeah, my kids are nuts. They want to see it.
It's bonkers.
It looks awesome.
I saw Cthulhu in the trailer.
Yeah.
Cthulhu is in the trailer. Yeah. I was like, okay, I might be in for this one. I'm not a Minions guy. I might be in for this one.
Yeah. That could be awesome.
Yeah, that could be a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to that.
And then,
don't say it.
Disney, what the fuck? Do you know how much a Super Bowl ad costs? And do you know how much we all are worried that Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be more third season than first season? Or that it could end up kind of like a Book of Boba Fett? And what's your plan for assuaging these concerns? A Budweiser ad with Tauntauns. Isn't that great? And then they like fist bump and hand the reins over and there's like a force. What are we doing?
See,
you guys complain all the time about not having money and needing to raise rates because you don't make money. And then you buy a Super Bowl ad and you play a prank on your fans. What are we doing?
And I'll be honest, I think this movie's going to just be dog shit.
Yeah, I'm worried.
I'm
just getting more worried by the day.
But I think the thing that they were hoping on is kind of a Jared Leto situation where Pedro Pascal, I still love him and I think he's great, but he oversaturated himself and he's really fallen off the map big time. Mm-hmm. And he's fallen out of favor with a lot of people because they've seen him in so much shit. That I don't even think it's a draw to say, oh, well, it's Pedro Pascal as a Mandalorian. I don't think that draw is there, especially after season 3. So now I'm like, what reason do anyone have to go see this movie?
Well, that's the funny thing is that, honestly, and it's a little weird to say, but honestly, the fact that you don't see his face, I don't associate him with Mando as much as a bunch of other roles.
After the second season, you really didn't see
Not at all. Like, I associate Pedro Pascal with the unbearable weight of massive talent. That's the first movie I think of when I think of Pedro Pascal.
Or his SNL skits were amazing.
Or, like, I still think of, again, I don't know why, I think of Kingsman: The Golden Circle.
Yes!
Before I think of Mandalorian.
He was awesome.
I think of Fantastic Four before I think of Mandalorian.
Game of Thrones,
man! Oh!
Getting his face exploded by the mountain.
That scene is the dopest scene, and then it fully German suplexes you as a fan. And you're just like, you go from the highest high to the lowest low.
Yep.
And you're just like, what the fuck?
Yep.
That wasn't supposed to happen, man.
And he was so great in that
We were winning.
Oh, he was so
great. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
So, like, But I don't associate Pedro Pascal with the Mandalorian. I associate the Mandalorian with Grogu. That's the association I have, is like the Mandalorian to me is this singularly thing where it doesn't need any of the other Star Wars bullshit to exist. It took on roles from other Star Wars bullshit, and I would argue that kind of made it worse at times, but by and large, it was allowed to stand on its own and was able to. Mm-hmm. More than anything, it didn't need all that other stricture and elements. Mm-hmm. So it was enough to have an IG unit and a Baby Yoda and a little bit of the Force and a little bit of the Mandalorians and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But it was never a Star Wars story. Mm-hmm. You know, Cad Bane didn't show up in the first season of The Mandalorian. Darth Maul wasn't around. You know, like, it allowed itself to have time to organically build a story, to have these stories that were in and of themselves segmented and episodic, but did build to a really satisfying conclusion. It had its own lore. It had its own feeling. And it's gotten away from that more recently. Mm-hmm. And now I look at this and I'm just like, when you don't tell us the story, that means one of two things. The story is fucking great, like Life of Chuck. Or the story is so fucking horseshit that you can't tell us because we won't go and see it if we know what the story is.
Do you know what vibes I'm getting from watching these trailers?
Horseshit?
Solo, a Star Wars story. That's the vibes. Yeah. Because we didn't know it. All we knew about Solo was that it was Han Solo's origin story. We didn't know anything else about the story, really.
Yeah.
This, it's like, okay, Grogu is a character that they've sold enough toys that kids don't really give a shit about Grogu anymore. No one really cares about the Mandalorian because season 3 was so fucking bad and it turned him into a secondary character, not even the primary.
Bo-Katan became the main character somehow.
And so it's like, I agree with you 1,000%, but I think it's the latter.
Yeah.
I think this thing is so bad.
Well, that's the thing, is that when this happens, you get one Life of Chuck where they don't tell you anything about the story and it's for a good reason.
Yes.
For every 20 movies where they don't tell you anything about the story, or they feed you a false bill of goods of what the story is going to be because the story that they actually have is such horseshit that they won't be able to sell it to you.
And so Disney never hides the story on anything. In fact, they're well known for spoiling everything.
Marvel shows you the entire movie a week before the movie comes out.
Marvel shows you the trailer for the new Spider-Man movie before he comes back to life in Endgame.
Yeah.
How fucking... That is still the worst fucking one.
It's so dumb.
Ever.
It's so dumb.
It's so fucking dumb.
But this is what they do. They show you everything because that way, even if you don't see the movie, you already saw the movie and you can watch the next one or just watch the trailer for the next one and just skip this one because you watched the trailer so you know what happens in the story.
Yep.
And it's a bullshit way to advertise. It's a garbage way to go about things. It's a bad way to do things to your fans. I think it breeds a lot of resentment because then you get into situations like the Hulk bursting out of the Hulkbuster and everybody's like, oh, this is going to happen. Never going to happen.
Nope.
Never going to happen because at some point Kevin decided, no, it doesn't work. We got to do something different. For whatever reason, Kevin decided, no, we're not doing that. And it makes me mad every time. And it's why I won't watch trailers for Marvel stuff because it's lies.
Yeah.
It's just as likely that anything you see in the trailer will be in the movie as it won't be. Yeah. I haven't watched a single Doomsday trailer because what is actually going to be in the movie from the trailer?
It's dog shit.
Very little.
Yeah, very little.
The highest high points in the trailer probably won't actually be in the movie.
I agree.
That's how they do things. So I look at this and I just say, I want this to be good, but I still want this to be good. I don't think this will be good. I still want this to be.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
Yeah.
So I'm just warning you. All right, so we got to do a quick final segment.
Yes.
We just wanted to touch on a little in memoriam at the end here.
Yes, a double in memoriam as it turns out.
Today, it's sad to hear James Van Der Beek at 48 died of cancer.
Like 3 hours ago.
Which is just
crazy.
Unbelievable, 48 years old, dying of cancer. And he was a good person, too. He wasn't even like a shitty celebrity.
No.
He was a good person.
You know he's a good person. There's 2 ways you know James Van Der Beek is a good person. One, he plays himself in Kevin Smith movies.
Oh, and it's fucking awesome. James Silent Bob Strike Back was the best.
Beautiful.
It's so good.
2, he plays himself in shows like The Bee and Apartment 23.
Yeah.
Where he's just James Van Der Beek. There's no role there. He's just playing a version of himself.
Yeah.
So he gets it. He's in on the joke. He likes the joke, and he's willing to commit to the joke.
And he was in one of my favorite internet shorts. He was in that. It was kind of an R-rated Power Ranger short. Did you ever see that one?
I remember this, yeah.
He was in that. He was like one of the mains in it. And I'm
yeah.
like, oh, dude, he was so fucking good at that.
So, farewell to a real
sad.
one.
Very sad. Dawson's Creek fans.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Great man. So we got to move on to another sad one. One of the greatest comedic actors of our time, Catherine O'Hara, also died. 71.
Just out of nowhere.
Oh, she was prepping for the second season of that Seth Meyers show, The Studio.
Yeah.
And she just died.
Yeah.
Like Vanderbeek, he's been sick for a few years now.
Yeah, he's been battling cancer for a while.
She just died.
Yeah.
And it
was just
heartbreaking.
Her time, and...
So it made us kind of reflect on some things we were, kicking around, how we both had forgotten that she was voice of Sally in Nightmare Before Christmas.
I honestly, there's an argument to be made that I never knew. Frankly, there's an argument to be made I never knew. I never put that together.
Just completely fucking blew my mind.
Yeah.
And then, we talk. You're always, when you think about her, you're going to think about Beetlejuice, especially the mainstream ones, and Home Alone, which are the two big mainstreams.
Yeah.
But for us, we go back to the Christopher Guest mockumentaries, and especially my two favorite out of all of them, which is Best in Show, which is easily one of the best comedies ever, and then A Mighty Wind, which is super underrated.
I will say, this was the first time I'd seen either of these movies.
You've never seen either?
I never saw Waiting for Guffman. I've never seen either of these movies.
Waiting for Guffman's good.
I saw Spinal Tap, but that's a different era.
I would say don't see for your consideration. That's the last one they did. That's very good.
So, but it was so interesting. First off, because I was convinced that Best in Show wasn't just... I was convinced it took place and was shot in 1994.
No.
It was made in 2000. And when I found that out, I was absolutely floored. Between the size of the suits on the men and the haircuts and the camera style and the look of every setting, I was like, this is early 90s.
Yes.
I can 100% identify this as the early 90s. No, not even close. Yep. I also didn't realize that this was where John Michael Higgins and Jane Lynch really kind of
this made Jane Lynch's career.
This is the thing Jane Lynch did before Glee.
Yeah.
Like, this was the thing that got her Glee,
and
which
I believe
I didn't realize.
It was before a 40-year-old virgin, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was her big kickoff.
Yeah, and so that was just shocking. Both of these movies were so fascinating, and I'll go so far as to say challenging at times. There were a lot of moments in both of them. They both reminded me very much of, they are like a Wes Anderson movie with a different flavor of charm.
Yes.
They're both charming, but depending on what kind of charms work for you, you're either going to buy in or you're not. I swear to God, I like Parker Posey. I got nothing against Parker Posey. I think Parker Posey is lovely. I hated those two fucking idiots.
Her and Michael Hitchcock.
I hated them.
Well, they were supposed to be the worst
They were so bad.
Yes.
In a movie of arguably touch and go people.
Yeah.
I hated them.
But I love when they're like, I was in one Starbucks and I looked across the street and he was in the other Starbucks, and I was like, dude, I fucking love that.
See, that should have been my first sign that this wasn't the early 90s.
Yeah.
Because they talk about Starbucks.
Yeah.
And that wasn't around in the early 90s. I do like Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy in this movie.
Oh my God.
I thought that the one moment I thought took it too far. I love the bit where they keep on running into people that have slept with her.
Yes.
I did think that was funny. The guy that they have dinner with, who full on makes out with her, that got too far. That went too far for me. I was just like, I can't take it. I don't like this guy. I don't like the way he's talking to these people.
Larry Miller.
I don't like...
But see, I love Larry Miller. And when his son's on the roof and he said, I do this for a living.
Panic attack.
I will get my thumb in a fucking... He's swearing at him. It's so fucking funny.
When they were like, where's the dog? And then they were like, where's the son? I was like, that fucking ginger's going to kill the dog.
And he's got the parachute on.
He's going to kill the dog. I can't watch dog murder. This cannot turn into a snuff film. It doesn't. The dog's fine. But there was just it was just so weird because there'd be these disparate moments where I would buy in. So I do like when we first meet the guy with the bloodhound, who I didn't realize was Christopher Guest.
Yeah, Christopher Guest.
After I finished watching the movie, I didn't realize what Christopher Guest looked like. I'd only seen him in Spinal Tap, so I didn't have like a frame of reference for like, oh, this is what Christopher Guest looks like. I liked him, and then the more we hung out with him, the more I was like, okay, and how many nuts can you name? Yeah. Have you talked about how many nuts you can name? When he pulled out the ventriloquist dummy, I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. I can't do whatever this is. I can't do this too. I
love it.
I was so convinced that the 2 left feet thing was going to come up in the plot.
Dude, that was so
I was so sure. I was so sure. But oh my God, listen, I don't have anything against the man. I thought he was actually really good. And I just recently watched Salem's Lot.
Uh-huh.
Fred Willard needs to be put down like a rabid dog.
Dude, both these movies.
Jesus Christ!
But just in that where he's like, guess how much I can lift? Or how much I can bench.
Guess how much I can deadlift? I deadlifted 500 pounds.
See,
Not
I guess
now.
that's the thing about these movies is it is a genre in itself,
Yes.
the Christopher Guest movies.
Yes.
And if you're on board with them, you're on board 1,000%.
Yeah, that was what that was how I came away from it. Is like it's like how some people don't like Wes Anderson because of the things that make it Wes Anderson. I did not like these movies, but I did feel like I was kept at arm's length because I just couldn't commit to everything that was going on.
See, I bet money, and I had a feeling on this, that you would have liked The Mighty Wind better because of the musical side to it.
That's exactly what it was.
Yes.
It was that, and I turned to Kelly halfway through Mighty Wind and I said this. Both of these movies are the exact same movie, but one has dogs, and instead of dogs, the other has music.
Yeah.
You can't hurt music. There's no way that you can abuse music and kill it. So I far prefer this because you can drop a dog off a roof and someone will think it's funny. You can play a bad song and someone will think it's funny. I will think one of those things are funny, and I will think the other thing makes me not want to watch the rest of the movie.
And it's poignant because I did watch A Mighty Wind the day we found out Catherine O'Hara died. It is a great, that final song of her and Eugene Levy. Knowing that she passed and knowing the career she's had specifically with Eugene Levy. I mean, we didn't even mention Schitt's Creek, which was a great show. It was so sweet and so sad when you watch it, and you're like, oh, she's gone.
Did you read Dan Levy's not obituary, but his reaction?
No.
He had a really lovely reaction because he had been around her his whole life.
Oh yeah,
she was an aunt to him.
Yep,
she had always been there, and when he got to actually act against her, it was kind of weird at first. And it's just a really, I would encourage people to go and look it up. It's a really lovely memorandum on everything that had happened and his memories of her. I really did like A Mighty Wind for those reasons because the music was genuinely good.
It was really good.
All of the songs are good.
You had a unofficial Spinal Tap reunion.
Yeah.
In that movie with Harry Shearer, Christopher Guest, and Michael McKean.
I really like Michael McKean in both these movies.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Because I always see him as Mr. Green in Clue.
Yeah.
And so when he plays this gay man, I was like, oh, it's Mr. Green
from
Clue.
But that's the funny thing is I agree. I love Catherine O'Hara in both. I know this is supposed to be about her and we're kind of getting off. But Michael McKean and John Michael Higgins, who played the gay couple in the first, but then I like them also equally as much in the second movie.
Yeah.
They were great.
I really like that was the part that kind of like I was in and then I was out and then I was like, I don't know if I can come back anymore, was when they start talking about their religion based on color.
But that's what I loved about it. When she's explaining it, the look on his face of like that was like the Katie Holmes look with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, like buying into it. And it's like, and the fact, oh dude. His acting was so good.
I love the moment where they're in the recording studio and it comes out that the one guy hasn't been allowed to change his clothes because he hasn't earned the right. He hasn't earned the right to change out of the uniform.
Yeah.
I love when they're talking and it's Jane Litch and John Michael Higgins. And she starts talking about working in the sex shop.
Yes.
And his face just kind of falls for a second.
And I used to do a thing that the girls wouldn't do, but I was really good. And that she comes from the sex industry and her new last name is Boner.
Yes.
Is the greatest fucking little joke.
It's also the only time I've ever seen Jennifer Coolidge do a voice.
Yeah, it was okay.
It was a voice. She wasn't playing Jennifer Coolidge, so credit to her. Like that was the most I've seen her act.
Yeah.
In general, like I'm not saying she's a bad actress. Oh my god!
When you were talking about that scene when he says, "My dad sent me to bed with only dessert," It's those little, and that's the thing about Christopher Guest movies, is there's so many little things that he'll put in there that you're like, did I just fucking hear that?
What was that? You want to run that by me again?
Sent me to bed with only dessert.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that, where like he resented music.
Yes.
It was all his dad gave him was music, and then one day it finally broke through and he got it.
Dude, so fucking, and I like I said, I've been big on those, because I saw Best in Show, I think the year it came out, I saw it. So I've been big in these movies, and then I actually, Waiting for Guffman was the last one I saw. Because I saw For Your Consideration, then I saw Waiting for Guffman.
Yeah.
Which Waiting for Guffman is good. I don't think it... I think they were trying to figure things out still. Like, they found what they want to do.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a little more refined in those two movies. In reality, for me, it is watching that relationship, and I am happy they kept, in both movies, Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy together.
Yeah.
Because not only have they had a history on film, but they also had that history with Canadian SCTV.
They've been together since the John Candy days.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah.
And it's like just seeing them, and that's the saddest thing for me, is because they worked so fucking well together. And I love Eugene Levy. I have loved Eugene Levy. The first thing I ever saw him in was Splash. And ever since then, I've loved Eugene Levy.
Question for you. Do you think that was actually his soul patch in Mighty Wind, or do you think that was a makeup that they used to match his eyebrows?
I don't know. I love... He is so good in A Mighty Wind, playing the space.
The weird cadence to his voice.
It's spectacular.
It's incredible. I thought he was going to drop it at some point.
No.
It's the whole time.
He's so good.
And it never changes, but the emotion behind it changes.
Yeah.
So when we meet him, he's at the lowest point in his career. And by the end of the movie, the 6 months later, he's like, yeah, I'm writing music again. And it's good. It feels good. I like it.
And I love when they show the albums after they broke up, and it's like him in the
that was insane.
It was so
the one
good.
of him in a grave being like, guess I'll die then. And it's like, oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Just the look on his face. But then even at the end when he's talking about, I'm writing poetry again, and they show him sitting in bed, all of a sudden he just scrambles it down really quick.
Yeah.
I can't write it down fast enough. And it's like, dude, he was so good.
I love the kind of fake out that they do where he wanders off.
Yes.
What I like about Mighty Wind, and this may have been the case in Best in Show, but I don't think it had the same element or effect. I like that in A Mighty Wind, these problems come up, and then there's no problem.
Yeah.
So the first band in the reunion show does the exact same song that Christopher Guest's band was going to do.
Yes.
So now they have to come up with a new plan. And there's this funny bit about Harry Shearer being like, well, we're just going to do it better than them. And the other guys being like, you can't play
You can't do
the same song as the opening act.
Yeah.
And Eugene Levy wanders away, and everybody's like, where the fuck is he? How could you do this? Oh, we're so screwed. And then he comes back, and everything's fine. He's like, I couldn't find a rose that was perfect. And so here is his rose. And it's like, okay, this is kind of sweet. I kind of like this.
And it's also, they're starting to do that, the Herdsmen are starting to do that awful song that Michael McKean did not want to do because they needed to stretch the time.
Yeah.
And they talked so much
long.
they didn't get to the song. And they
Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
So good.
And then I still, one of the best ending shocks was Harry Shearer just becomes a woman.
That was out of nowhere.
And it's like, because there's nothing in the movie.
You know what I like about it, though? And it is at a time when that could have been considered tone deaf by modern standards. I think they give he, them, her agency in that moment.
Yeah.
Because he has this bit that he does, the E, and O. And when he does it as a transitioned woman, there's a new spin put on it.
Yes, the little with the hand at the end.
And so it's just like,
great.
I think that for as much of a bit as they use it as, where it's like, oh, the bass singer is now a woman.
Yeah.
I think they do give him a level of agency, or I guess her, a level of agency within that moment. And it is a bit. It's definitely made for the joke. But I wouldn't say they humiliate her.
No.
You know?
And it is
the other two band members accept her as this new person, and they're like,
so
I guess this is just how we are now. It's fine.
It's just so out of left field that it's like, because once again, if there were like signs throughout the movie, fine. But that's this group. They just do this weird this shit where you're like,
yeah,
I fucking have no idea where that came from.
No, I really the music for A Mighty Wind was what really tied it for me. That was what, like, because the music is really good.
It's really fucking good.
And, like, Catherine O'Hara does sing really well. I don't know if she was actually playing the auto harp, but she sings really well. And the theatrics and musicality of everything is great. I love the 6 months later where she's singing at the medical supply
singing
show.
about catheters.
If you read the credits, she wrote that song.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. I bet she played that instrument and sang it.
I wonder, right? I
being.
wonder.
Yeah.
And so, but like, it's one of those things, bringing this all to a head, the arc of everything where, like, the Catherine O'Hara role that I think of first is Home Alone. Because we didn't watch Beetlejuice when I was a kid. I didn't see Beetlejuice until I was like 16 or 17. So then it's Beetlejuice. You see so much of what she's capable of if you look at Home Alone and this. Because she's not a bad person in Home Alone. She's an overwhelmed mother who does make mistakes, but is also Kevin McAllister is a blight on humanity at
horrible.
the beginning of that movie. It totally makes sense that she would be like, get the fuck out of my face. I can't deal with you right now. You just got to go away.
Yeah.
I love watching the build of Catherine O'Hara's mania about getting home. And especially when she meets John Candy. And, like, just that whole moment where they're in the van together. That's such a beautiful moment. And when she walks into the house and he's there. And it's just, she really carries a lot of those scenes on her own. And then you watch her here, and it's madcap. And it's insane. And
but you get to see her pure talent comedically, especially at the end of Best in Show.
Yeah.
When she hurts her knee, and she's walking at the end, and she gets her leg to wobble.
Yeah.
I was like, how the fuck did she even do that?
Kelly turned away. She was like, I can't watch this.
Yeah. But it's like you're watching her like, dude, she's just doing that.
Yeah.
How is she doing that?
How is she able to do that?
And it was fucking hysterical.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Physical comedy 101.
It's
right
great.
Fucking there.
And, like, that joke about meeting all the guys she slept with could come off as lame or old. But when she's just sitting in the recording booth and they're recording their dumb Terrier songs, and the recorder stops the recording, and he's like, "Hey, did we sleep together?"
Well, because she never plays it off like she's ashamed.
No,
she plays it off like, "Oh yeah,
that was a part of my life.
I did.
I did sleep with you."
And that's what made the joke funny.
Yeah,
because if she kept getting embarrassed, she'd be like, "Okay, I'm getting tired of this.
I don't want this to happen." No, she was always like, "Oh yeah," and then she'll talk to the guy.
Yeah,
and she doesn't avoid them or anything.
No, not at all.
And so it's just
because it's like the straight man to Eugene Levy's face as it's happening.
Yeah. And then to turn that around, and in A Mighty Wind, she has this feeling of like, I fucked up.
Yeah.
And I lost out on something special because I fucked up at a time where I was stressed and I wasn't happy in my relationship, and so I blew the whole thing up, and now I regret it. Because I'm an older person, I look back at that and I say, this is what I could have had, and I threw it all away.
And now she's married to a British man that makes catheters and has a train set, which is
it's just like, but you see, I won't say disappears, but Jennifer Coolidge was playing Jennifer Coolidge.
Yes.
In this, in Best in Show, in American Pie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Catherine O'Hara was Mrs. McAllister. And I can't remember the characters from these two movies. Delia Dietz. But she was those roles. She wasn't Catherine O'Hara playing a version of Catherine O'Hara, or maybe she was, but like it was done so well and effectively that you look at those roles and you're like, this is such a different polarity of acting and being. And it reminds me of like looking at John Candy in various films, where you look at him in Spaceballs and you look at him in Cool Runnings.
Yep.
And these are both comedy roles, but like you would never see Barf dressing down the Olympic Committee for not allowing his guys to race.
That's true.
But that scene is so good in Cool Runnings.
Yep.
It's such a great moment. So I'm glad that I had this moment, this chance to appreciate Catherine O'Hara.
Yep.
She will be missed.
She will be missed. So, R.I.P. to those two legends, James Van Der Beek and Catherine O'Hara.
R.I.P. to two real ones.
Yeah, two real ones, that's right. And R.I.P. to episode 182 of Nerdpod Generations. Hope you enjoy, folks. That was a nice long one. That was good, though. We got a lot of meat
I just have this episode labeled as shooting the shit.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Shooting the shit with death at the end. Yeah. So that's pretty much how we run here.
Hey, that's life, isn't it?
That is life.
You shoot the shit for X amount of time, and then death comes at the end.
So, folks, NerdPod Generations, on a high note, NerdPod Generations 182 is in the books. So once again, go to nerdpodgen.com. And Al, who does our artwork and our music?
Our art is by Kortney Howell. Our music is by Brendan Williams and James Connolly. I am Alfred Judson.
And I am Steve Taylor, folks.
And next week, hopefully, we will get our microphones up and running. We'll get our little red box to do its red boxiness.
As always, no idea what the fuck we're going to talk about.
We might have another episode just like this next week.
Hey,
who the fuck can say?
Great episodes.
Hey, I can guarantee you this. I'm probably going to talk about Cool Runnings next week.
Probably.
Have a good week, friends and enemies.